What's up, buddy?
What is up, everybody? Everybody's kind of filing in here, getting ready to just do some fire talk about NFTs. We're going to let a little dip stop us from talking about some NFTs today. No reason to let a little stubbing of the toe stop us. Everybody that's in here, as we kind of fill this space up, if you'll look in your lower right-hand corner of your screen, hit that little tweet button, tweet out this room, and let's get this place filled up. A lot of good NFT stuff to discuss too. A lot of, it's funny. No matter what the market does, there's always topics to discuss because there's always somebody that's trying a new, that's putting out a new project, or is, creating some kind of news event. Elon has said something. Whatever. There's always something to discuss, no matter what the market is doing.
The market never sleeps.
That's right.
It's taken 5 years off my life.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. You'll get gray hair sooner than you thought you would.
I'm bald, man. I don't have any hair.
What year did that start for you?
I started shaving my head when I was 22 years old, so I've been bald for 8 years now.
Yeah, because there's some people that tell me like, oh no, it started in high school or something like that. They just started and then they kind of like you just finished the job off and just took a razor to it.
Oh, it was in the military. I wore a hat every day, and my hairline was definitely receding. I fought it for a couple good years, but 22 years old, I was like, all right, enough is enough.
Now, how did you fight it? What was your strategy? Was it
like the comb over kind of like, I don't know, trying to make something there that wasn't. I didn't fight that hard. I didn't do any of that Rogaine or anything like that. I just kind of up.
No, you did the right move. You did just embrace it, right?
Yep. I just went for it.
You bought the dip, right? You just
yes.
You said it's going down. I'm just going to make the best of it.
Yep.
No, that's all right. It was a good move for you. And Christine she's changing her profile pic every day, and I'm having trouble keeping up. I'm having trouble keeping up with where she is. The superhero yesterday. It's not that I don't like this one. This is unique too. But are you a rapid changer? Are you always changing?
So no, right? But lately I have been. And today I was like, well, I'll just be an NFT then, because it's NFTuesday.
Ooh.
So yeah. But clearly everybody in here, I'm like, oh, maybe I should change back to my normal photo. But I do see like Aisha, she's a NFT.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure Pinto Beans is. I think he's just wearing a mask in his. But this is a GMD gen, so it's pretty cool.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I see Lucas Bean's face on it. I think I love it.
Yeah, he gave it. He sent it to me. He's like, look, it has tattoos.
So every tattooed NFT, people say like, this one's Christine's. This is the one for.
I know, that's what everyone thinks. Like, and they'll send me NFT projects. They're like, this one has tattoos. I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's a cool thing to be associated with. I wanted to be like, oh, this guy is incredibly good looking, so I thought of you.
Yeah, the everyone just lumps you in. Oh, you're a tattoo artist. I'm more than that. I'm Spider-Woman.
I know, right? I'm like, how about associating with cooler things?
Right.
Yeah, I disagree. That's pretty cool. I don't know. The tattoo artist. You're just a cool person, Christine, because you've got the tattoo artist thing, which I think, okay, that's a really cool career. And then you've got, your social media persona as well. You're into NFT and crypto and stocks. And, well, maybe I'm biased, but I think that's cool too. So,
well, thank you. You're the coolest.
Well, thank you. I've got like...
I really love that when you have these sound effects.
You know, for the OTC Club.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I'm as fast as... Like, I don't even know how to do it.
Well, here's the thing about it. So I've got a Stream Deck, and I can pre-program them to the buttons. But there's a couple like rules about playing these audio drops. One, they've got to be short, okay? Because if you do something that's really long, it interrupts the flow of things, and especially if they're funny, people will laugh. Completely takes away. You want people to like chuckle, but then keep on moving on with their conversation, right? And then two, I always have to like audio balance them because you never want it to be where you play something like have people throwing off their earphones or whatever. So yeah, you've got to there's kind of a middle ground to be able to do. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to do. You should look into it for the OTC Club, or maybe I'll pop in there and just play fun stuff.
Yeah, you know what? That'd be cool, actually.
I'll just be the producer of.
Yeah, you're the sound engineer.
Oh, sound engineer. Thank you. I knew there was a word for it. Well, welcome everybody that is in here that's heard all this wonderful talk in the morning. This morning, Christine has changed her profile pic, and yeah, it's NFT Tuesday, so she changed it to an NFT as she should. I am the voice of DeFi. You can always follow me on Twitter on my own account at Voice of DeFi. But today I'm talking from the TRADERVERSE account because every day at this time, Monday through Friday, we speak here, not always here on Spaces, but at least Monday through Wednesday on Spaces here, where we talk about something in the crypto game, in the stock game, or in the NFT game. And so we'll talk about the ins and outs, whatever's going on with stories. We'll have people from the audience come up here and speak about, their own personal experiences or their own projects. All of this surrounding TRADERVERSE, which is a soon-to-come social network, rewarded social network, I should say, where you can be rewarded for both content creation and just engagement. And there's going to be a lot to that. And we'll do a whole AMA with Rick, who's up here as well as a co-host. And we'll have a whole AMA with him. Probably going to do that on our Discord channel. Is that correct, Rick?
Yeah. We'll be starting to do Thursday's community update day, where you can come ask your question about what we're doing, the updates of exchanges will be on the token. I think we're going to talk about tokenomics on Thursday of everything.
Love tokenomic talk. I don't know why. Sounds like it would be boring, but I actually do like to talk about it for a little bit. So yeah, so today we usually have a theme for each day that we talk. Yesterday we talked really heavy into stocks, and if you listened in, you heard about the 3 M's, which were mining, marijuana, and metaverse. So if you saw some cryptic tweets out that talked about the 3 M's, and I said, well, you got to be in here to know. Well, you're in here today, so I can tell you.
I was going to say this yesterday, but when are they going to enable like marijuana in the metaverse? Like when will that happen?
How would they do
I don't
that?
know.
When you
Technology's endless.
like just you're like, I don't know. You tell me.
Like I can buy digitally. What's happening here?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, if we're putting Neuralink.
Are you smoking right now?
I'm not. It's a little too early.
There's no doubt to be like, man, what if you could get high in the metaverse?
So 420. It's always 420 somewhere.
That's true. I don't know. Maybe you could buy call it an NFT that it looks like a marijuana leaf, right? And then it changes your perspective of things. It heightens your senses. You see things in brighter and more vivid.
Crippling anxiety and paranoia too.
Yeah.
No, where the NFT wears off. Yeah. Whenever your digital weed wears off, you're like, oh, I need more digital weed. So anyway, I'll be your weed man, I guess, if this is a thing.
I wanted to just share with everyone. I went ahead and posted on the top the post that says, if you're new to the NFT space and want to learn more, that is a link to the TRADERVERSE quick start guide to NFTs. I know we constantly get a lot of messages with, can you explain like the NFTs to me? And can you give me a quick rundown? And that's a super awesome link. There's also other links in there that introduce you to blockchain, cryptocurrency, and stuff like that. And we definitely want to help anyone that needs guidance or whatever we could do to help. That's what we're here for. And TRADERVERSE does a great job doing that. I also want to welcome my friend Dogecoin Movement up here. I haven't talked to you for a long time, so I'm super excited that you're up here with us. And if you guys have any questions down there or want to talk about the NFT space or any news that came out today, or just your thoughts or even any questions, go ahead and request, and don't be afraid to do that because we're here to help. But we're definitely going to talk about some NFT news, right, guys?
Absolutely. And exactly, I want to echo what she said. If you've got some questions, this isn't the room where it's like, oh, everybody's an expert and I don't want to ask a question that I don't know something. Just ask it. If you're wanting to ask it, I bet you a lot of other people are wanting to know that exact same information. So don't be shy. But yeah, we are going to cover some news, a few things that we want to discuss that are kind of big news, I think. I know Rick has a few news stories that he wants to be able to cover, and I've got a few news stories that I want to cover. One of the first ones that I thought was kind of interesting is different industries that NFTs are infiltrating that you would never associate to have anything to do with tech or technology or anything like that. And one of the ones that I ran into, and this is kind of making the news cycle today, is it's infiltrated cycling. So if anybody, whenever you're biking and somebody's kind of running in front of you and you're kind of, oh man, there's kind of a club, right? Where everybody kind of feels like they're within a club. And if you know anything about NFTs, you know that there's a real social club around different NFT projects. And so there's a bike club project that is an NFT where, you can buy it and it's limited, and there's rare NFTs that you can get, and they are biking associated NFTs. But it doesn't just stop there. They're wanting it to where it will actually give people within the biking community exclusivity to where maybe they can get, I'm going to mispronounce the app, but Strava, I think it's Strava, where you can, it's an app that they can tell how many miles they're going and that sort of thing. And they can get discounts on that, discounts on some physical merchandise, maybe invites to more exclusive, I don't want to say parties, because I don't know that bikers are partiers, but I bet you they would argue with me on that. But yeah, it gets you so much access to things all through an NFT. So NFTs are infiltrating businesses like biking that we would never think have anything to do with technology, but they want in. And maybe this is a sign of adoption that's coming soon.
I mean, it's I had a really interesting conversation with the Dirty Bird Records crew. They're a house label out of San Francisco, probably one of the bigger ones, probably in the. I mean, they have a really big community. Like the Dirty Bird family is just like, it's huge, and like all their festivals and concerts are like, everyone's dressed the nine in their merch, and it's a big family, and they started their own NFT collection, and they had a really successful drop, and they're building a community. They have a Discord, like 13,000 members, which is really great. And, they're going to start to do like exclusive music drops and like token gated streams with their DJs like once a month. And like really trying to build that vibe out where like, yeah, these NFTs are your ticket to the door. And they even had you had to have a NFT party in NYC during NFT NYC. Like where if you held a bird, you have a +1 into this exclusive event with all these DJs. And I think we're going to start to see a lot more of that.
Of access, you think?
Yeah,
a lot more
absolutely.
Well, especially in NFT NYC, I will bet. I mean, was that pretty common? I bet, of having kind of little after parties or different events that only were for that community that held that NFT. I'll bet you that.
I went to the Pizza Dow party and they had if I could go back, there was so much pizza, 3 floors of pizza. It was amazing.
I'm so interested.
Yeah, no, the Dow is so silly and fun, and like they had like a reveal party, and you had to own $5 worth of their like token in order to get in. But when you walked in, there was literally 3 floors of this bar, and there was just mounds of pizza from tons of different places, everywhere, and it was all free. And it was
a great example.
Yeah,
that's a great example. Access that was given, digitally through being part of a community. There's 2 things here. There's one, that access, but 2 is community, and both of those are with your pizza party example.
Yeah, and they had a really cool cause. They're trying to end world hunger, kind of stuff with free pizza. So they've been like sending pizzas all over the world to underprivileged places, and they have pictures everywhere. It's silly, it's goofy, but there's like a fun cause at the end of it that is really meaningful. And it was just a bunch of like rappers and entertainers and creators, and just being silly and fun. And I mean, that's what a DAO is kind of all about. It's just like a community of like-minded people around a cause, and the cause was giving pizza to underprivileged people, and helping people on the side, but also having a great network.
I always think of like, food for a group that needs it, that might be facing hunger, as non-perishable items, canned goods, things like that last a while. So I don't know why pizza's interesting to me, that they're offering actual pizza that you kind of need to eat then, or it can go bad. But it sounds fun. Give a pizza to somebody in need.
And if you go to my Twitter page, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but so open bar at the end of this conference, the guy who runs Pizza DAO, or one of the organizers, no one really runs a DAO, but he interviewed me at the beginning, and then after I found the open bar, and it's kind of comical. So you can go to my page and see me make a fool of myself.
You are, you're a brave man for calling attention to that. So
I am who I am.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. And you could act the same way in a metaverse, it sounds like. So yeah, that's
be unhinged in a metaverse.
Right. That's exactly right. Very unhinged. So yeah, whether we're talking a bike club or this community of Pizza DAO or anything else, I think we're seeing infiltration of other industries that just aren't normally associated with tech. And why not? I mean, it's NFTs provide maybe the perfect opportunity to introduce a whole group of people to the technology that normally wouldn't have been introduced at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I know Joshua works with a lot of like musicians and consults with a lot of these communities on the side himself, and there's a lot of saturation right now with like so many PFP projects, but there are so many people doing like long-standing community ones, and those are the ones that are going to like really blossom and continue to grow because they have longevity and a why to what they're doing at the end of the day. Like cycling, it could be something as fun as cycling. And to say your comment, like cyclers are partiers. They like to go 20 miles and like the destination be a bar and go kind of crazy.
Right. And it would be cool if they were like, oh, it's an exclusive bar at the end of this 20 miles. And you have to have an NFT to get in, which would be cool. I don't care that you just did 20 miles. That's not going to cut it. You're going to need to do 20 miles plus this NFT to be able to get into here. Going in a little bit different directions, you read anything about this Bored Ape Yacht Club, this mobile game competition they're wanting to do?
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing that, and they're doing. They're trying to trademark the name Ape, which is pretty interesting. That I don't know if they'll be able to.
Really?
Yeah, they're trying to.
What?
Yeah, they're trying to trademark Ape. I think in the IP of the game, and I don't think just in general. I mean, I don't know how that's gonna go over for them, but yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff in that community. And like again, like I said, like they started off with a bang. Everyone wanted one. They have all these huge names that have them now. And now, how does the longevity of a project and a community work? And a game is really cool. Norris, you have a comment?
Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody. How is everybody today?
Great. How are you?
Good. I am doing beyond wonderful today. It is a beautiful day out. The sky's blue. I'm from New England, so the trees are getting to the end of autumn, but they still look very pretty.
Nice.
I had a question, kind of a general question for everybody. I've been on Twitter for about a week now. I've been learning as much as I can, and I'm seeing sort of a reoccurring theme with this with the understanding of it. Excuse me, sorry. Everyone is focusing on how they apply NFTs to the metaverse. Yes, that is incredible, astounding. This and I love video games. And it's always something that I dreamed of. I remember being in bed, uh, placing pillows around me like I was a fighter pilot because I always wanted to fly. And just any game you go to, driving, first-person shooters. Yeah, I wish I could hop in there and believe I'm in there with no repercussions of whatever happens, because it's not a real. It is a
Did we
real thing.
lose? Did we lose him?
This is.
He get rugged? Did I get rugged?
I hear him still.
I hear him.
we can hear.
Oh, you hear me
Okay.
still?
Okay. I just couldn't.
Sorry. Technical difficulties. So, yes, I'm excited for the metaverse, but I sort of want the conversation to expand a little bit. What can we do with the applications of NFTs? I think the key piece of information that everybody's missing is everyone's creating these collections, these collections, and they're trying to market themselves. The people who are going to be the most successful are those that are best at selling themselves. And so, I've heard a lot of talk about fractionalization of NFTs, and I find this very, very
Right.
interesting. How an NFT, an artist can come up with a brand like a Nike swoosh or I'm brain farting, but you get where I'm going with this. And my headphones are running low on battery,
Yeah,
so
you're
I might
cutting
drop
in and
off.
out.
I'm sorry. Hopefully you guys can understand me.
Yes.
Okay. So that image that represents a brand. That brand can now be fractionalized and given out to people who support that brand, people who believe that brand or project is what they want to support, however it is, or they may support it, whether it's in a physical sense, a monetary sense, a spiritual sense, whatever that may be. And I think that is why NFTs are the future. It's not the metaverse, which, by the way, I think that is a pretty lame name, and we could do better. We could do much better than metaverse. But that's for another conversation. I guess I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. You guys are extremely gracious, and I hope you all have a more than wonderful day.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We love your energy. You're so positive.
I'm interested in his other suggestions for a metaverse term. I'm open to that for sure.
Sounds like a contest on the Traderverse Twitter page.
Ooh, you are always forward thinking, man. I well, I've heard that. I saw that suggested after Facebook made their announcement, and it was kind of thought of as they took our word. That's our word, not Facebook's word. What do we need to call it now? Yeah, so
Facebook.
I had push. Facebook.
That'd be the biggest middle finger ever.
Right now, the metaverse is called Facebook. Yeah, I don't know if I'm down with that either. But,
Me either, but it's a start.
I like the middle finger.
Joshua, is there any news on your end with NFTs? I know you heavily work in a million projects.
Hey guys. So well, no, I mean not really that much of great news, but I do know that Sandbox announced its game. The I don't know if any of you guys saw the gameplay and stuff that's going to be coming out soon. So it was actually supposed to come out in Q1 this year. Sandbox's Metaverse,
Okay.
but they pushed it up to Q4 this year because they shifted from Ethereum to Polygon just so you can participate in Sandbox itself. Well, gasless. So because it's operating on a Polygon now, and well, I mean, Decentraland did that as well a while ago. They fully integrated with Polygon just so you don't have to spend as much in Polygon. But their governance and stuff was actually for a very long while on ETH. I think it's still on ETH. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think the metaverse is sort of is blowing up. And the second thing as well, I think a week ago we had another session. We were talking about the flow of money, and when ETH basically is going to dump, that's when NFTs are going to pick back up. That's exactly what we're seeing now. And I don't know, I don't know how long ETH is going to trade sideways, or we're going to be in this correction. But ideally, I think with the hype that has sort of built up over all of these recent times, and Coinbase, when they go live again with NFTs, that's going to be another cat. And with all of the popular people buying into Bored Apes, there's been so much of hype that people have sort of been jumping back into NFTs. And the third thing is, I'm looking for projects now. I'm actually deeply searching because it looks like almost every project that's selling out a 10K or 12K collection, they're not doing well primarily anymore because we're at a stage now where people don't want just PFPs anymore. They want actual utility. They want they want potential games. They want integration with the metaverse. They want people to do something they can obviously understand, relate to, and something outside the box as well. So yeah, I'm personally looking for projects now that have had enough of effort going into it, where I can look 5-6 years down the line, and regardless of whether there's a community or not, I can see that something is still operational there. So that's my current goal, and there's few of them which I found which they haven't even sold out 1/10 of their collection and stuff, but I've been buying it up primarily because regardless of whether they sell out or not, there's going to be utility added to that. And I mean, I'm sort of going to be hodling. I'm going to be actually a collector of NFTs to see which ones I'm going to stack, say 4 or 5 years down the line. That's actually what's going to give me profits, not just profits, but actual utility in the metaverse, events and connections, networking, all of that. So that's my goal at the moment, and I'm yet to start looking at new projects that's dropping that is going to focus on this. But yeah, that's basically what I've been exploring from my side. But as far as new projects goes, I haven't really found any and stuff like that. But
Josh, what's your top 3 NFTs in your portfolio, you would say, right now?
I can't really pick one because I've been wrong about so many things, at least in terms of floor price. So the one on my profile picture, for example, that's Incognito, and they have hit some insanely great milestones. I'm not going to lie. Like, I obviously have them on my profile picture. I still support them, but well, they did a bunch of things wrong. Well, they were the first PFP project that went to space. They have a mission plan to the moon, but they don't have a team that's working on publicizing this, working on press, working on marketing. It's just a small group of people that says that, oh, we want to do something differently. Let's add as much utility as we can. But they need someone doing this out. They don't. And yeah, I mean, that's primarily why they've not been doing well. But yeah, this is one which I've had in my portfolio. The other one, if you actually talk about in terms of utility, I would actually pick the Wobble Bug. I don't know if any of you guys know the Wobble Bug, but it's basically an artist. So the reason I actually like that a lot is because it was the first music NFT that dropped that went against the grain. And what I mean by that is it's the first one that, gave a piece of artwork and that distributed potential commercial rights, DJing rights. So anyone who likes a bit of music, wants potential access into future collaborations and stuff, it caters to them. So it's not just well, it's actually not just a piece of art that's probably going to die out if they don't sell out or do well. But yeah, so I like that. I bought one of that, and another one. Let me think of it. Wait, I have to open the.
We actually
So, oh well,
we're working
there's
on
one
doing
more
an
thing that
AMA
I'm
with
doing. As
Wobblebug.
in,
Oh,
Yep.
really? Oh, so did you hear that, Joshua? We're working on an
Mhm.
AMA with Wobblebug,
Yep.
so that's
I've been
Oh,
great.
talking to
I'm
Wookie.
friends with Wookie. If
Yeah.
you want, I can. Oh, you're already friends
Yep.
with him. That's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
He followed us on one of our first Traderverse stocks, and
Hmm.
I was just like, hey, I'm a big fan of I am a big fan of his music, honestly, and
Awesome.
slid into his
That's awesome,
DMs,
man.
and
Like
like
so.
we chatted, and he's down to do an AMA.
Yeah, that's
I just
cool.
like
So.
the word.
Yeah.
I like saying Wobblebug.
Wobblebug. Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Wobble
join their
wobble.
group on the first 1,000 people that join, everyone in the group was just going wop wop wop, quite literally on the group. It was just like there were these lines of text where everyone was just wobbing, and
Wobblebug.
well, I mean, it was fun. But yeah, I do have these two, I think, which is one of my top ones. Another one that I can probably call my top is a metaverse helmet. So it's from the Metaverse Travel Agency. Um,
Yeah.
what they've given out is a helmet. Basically, they're partnered up with both Decentraland and Sandbox, as in it's an official partnership. And they sold out, I think, 5,000 or 6,000 helmets, and they just burned the rest. Yeah. So I basically this is something that you can actually equip your avatar or yourself in the metaverse with, and well, it's going to be a lot of forging and future drops and stuff that's just going to be there for one helmet that you own. So that's another one which I have. And well, I mean, I missed Bored Apes, of course. My goal is to buy a Bored Ape, a Punk as well. But it's too expensive for me at the moment. But yeah, there's a company that I work with that's coming into crypto, so I have been working with them so far for free. I'm just asking them, talk among your team and then let me know if you can just pay me in one Bored Ape as my payment. So, well, if it happens, it's cool. I'll have a Bored Ape as well. But yeah, that's my goal. I mean, ideally, I want to collect a bunch of blue chips, well, which have attained the name blue chips over time. And yeah, apart from that, it's just going to be sort of looking out for projects that I think will actually get long-term utility in the space, where people are basing their reputation. And I also have a bunch of artworks in my OpenSea as well. So that's also great. So
Joshua, can you explain what blue chip NFTs are for people in the room that are new to NFTs?
sure. So it's ideally a, a collection that people would refer to, which has attained a status over time, which, well, it's going to be basically that regardless of how the market conditions are, it can go up and down in volume, but it's always going to be that there's going to be demand. And well, you can think of it as blue chip stocks or blue chip. Basically, it's going to be wanted. It's something that,
It's paper.
yeah, exactly. Well, and also like the other thing is like for example, right, punks weren't that crazy a while ago before all of the NFT hype started up. So regardless of what the market conditions go on, say for the next 1 to 2 years, there's going to be so many groups, not just for IRL events, but Discord groups, Telegram groups, where people will be dropping a lot of alpha, people will be networking, and there's a lot of high worth people in the crypto space that have punks. So if you're someone who's a networker and you would benefit off of these collections, a punk can give you access to that. So there's so much more. And well, I mean, they've sort of become blue chips because of, well, who owns them, quite literally, both punks and Bored Apes. And like, I mean, even if Bored Apes, when they first started off, right, it was just a community and they actually did bad for a while. And unless, like there was first like clubhouses, there were Twitter spaces, and there was so much positivity and vibrance in the entire Bored Ape community. And that's what mostly stood out. And after a while, it sort of died out. And there was like obviously a bunch of people from the Bored Ape community that revived it, began doing all of this. And it just kept developing in a very organic way that so many people wanted to join just to be a part of this community, be a part of that vibe, just own it and, as a status symbol, publish it. And well, they were one of the first collections that randomized and dropped it the way that they did. And yeah, eventually they started getting people on, like popular crypto people. That's Pransky was one of them, Journey Crypto, and like all of these popular people in crypto started joining, and then sort of it became a social status in crypto. And yeah, then they spread to obviously bands, celebrities, and everyone else. And now it's just like people just keep buying. Post Malone, wait, I don't know if Post Malone bought it, but yeah, Jimmy Fallon bought it recently as well. So well, it's just become a blue chip primarily because of supply and demand at this point. So
So actually, I want to have a probably an unpopular opinion about Bored Ape, but MoonPay actually has been buying these NFTs and giving them to these celebrities. So it's not these celebrities actually buying them. Like Jimmy Fallon's, was 58 ETH Bored Ape, but MoonPay bought it, gave it to Jimmy Fallon to be a part of the club. So they're actually like kind of padding their stat sheet more than anything. And you know, I know you're up here, but like the whole them trying to trademark ape, I don't know how I feel about that either.
So, actually, this trademarking the word ape, I actually think it's a rumor. I don't think they're actually trademarking an ape. Yeah, that's one thing. And the second thing is, I don't know if you saw that commercial that the recent celebrity who, well, he owns now a Bored Ape, and he put it in his music video. He's actually opening MoonPay and paying and stuff like that. But yeah, it's basically it would obviously be sponsored or something. But the fact that someone reached out to them, gave them a Bored Ape, and made them change their profile picture. It doesn't matter the nature of onboarding. At the end of the day, it matters that they're fine to be onboarded and use this as their profile picture, because it does take a lot to change your whole branding or online presence. And that's crazy. Like, for example, if any other community, right? Like even Incognito, for example, they had a lot of people onboarded, but they weren't able to get them to change their profile picture. Like people like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they bought it, they minted it on their own. We didn't even sponsor them. But changing their profile picture to something like this, it takes a good amount of decision as well, right? It's definitely not entirely sponsored.
Sure. No, you're right.
Well,
right. I agree with that.
Timbaland had a Spaces the other day. I don't know if you guys saw that. He had a couple thousand
Yep,
people.
I was on it.
Oh, okay,
And they had like 7 Bored Apes up there helping out with the
he was a
conversation.
Bored Ape, and it's just so funny to see. And he was like very excited about everything. It's really funny.
I love it whenever it gets into pop culture like that. But you're bursting my bubble a little bit whenever you tell me, sounds like Post Malone maybe didn't buy a Bored Ape, but he was given one. That's it's disappointing. Yeah, I wanted to think that he had bought his own, or even if it cost him a lot, that he had searched it and was into the technology behind it. But as you said, maybe it's good for the industry either way.
It helps with adoption, that's for sure. More people are going to be like, "What's that ape, Mom? What's that ape, Dad?"
Right.
It introduces these celebrities to this new investing space too as well. And then I think even if you give it to them, and then let's say that's the only one he had, and they had to have opened up a wallet like this and that, blah blah, and then he'll look at it and be like, oh man, like this is crazy. Oh man, the community is pretty crazy out here. Oh, this space is fun. And then they start going on to OpenSea, and then the addiction starts, and then he starts funding his wallet, and then he's going to start changing his profile photo. And then he's going to have a Spaces.
And then it's going to be NFT anonymous in the metaverse.
Right.
Yeah.
But exactly what you said of what I think will be eye-opening to somebody like him is to be like, oh, wow, there is a community behind this. Because there's articles written on this, and all of a sudden he gets a lot of notoriety. He was thinking, I just thought I was putting a silly picture up in my video. I don't understand what this is about. Why am I getting so much pub for just this? And then next thing your eyes are opened kind of, and then he goes down that path that you guys just said. But because you realize that these communities, that the value of NFTs can be belonging. Now, the other thing that Josh said earlier that I think is a good point, people are starting to want more than just a pretty picture. They're wanting utility to it as well. And so for that, I can definitely see where, access to something is utility, but there's other utilities as well that I think that's kind of the next level of NFTs. The easiest one will probably be for use in gaming, but I do think people will probably start to want more than just art. Now, that's not to say that art isn't inherently valuable, or just even belonging to a community isn't inherently valuable. But I will think eventually people would like that. Not only is there, for Turbo, who was here the other day, not only do they have a cool NFT, but they have an NFT that you can use in a game, that sort of thing. I do think expanding the definition of what we use NFTs for continue its growth.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And the metaverse is going to play a huge role in this. Like, I mean, I'm also working on my own project. So today's whole day was primarily me exploring Decentraland and Sandbox, as in from the base itself, and I actually learned a lot about Decentraland structure, their pros and cons, Sandbox's structure, their pros and cons.
Joshua, I'd like to touch on Decentraland and Sandbox if we could for a little bit, especially because the NFTs are starting. A lot of the projects, I think it's important for them to know how to link to the metaverse, because I think metaverse is the next big rush, right? Like what we were saying. What do you feel like is different from, I guess, Decentraland versus Sandbox, the pros and cons like you were bringing up, if we could touch on those, because I've only been on Decentraland, but I'm very tempted to go on Sandbox.
Sure. So as far as I know, I'm still studying the subject. I haven't even gone through it completely yet, but Decentraland is live. Sandbox isn't even live yet, as in, at least for people who aren't building developers or actually contributing meaningfully. It would go live, well, towards the end of this quarter, and Q1 would sort of be open for major contributors before it goes publicly live. So, but if you talk about its fundamentals on how it's different, Decentraland has, like, just talking about centralization and decentralization, right? Crypto wise, they both are decentralized, but Decentraland uses all of its servers that's there from its community to build on its platform. But Sandbox, on the other hand, they have a little bit of a different structure. They're based off servers from AWS, so it's like a very single big server there, and in that way, it makes it centralized to an extent. And in terms of launch, right, you have Sandbox, which has a little bit of different model on how they sell their land and how people can build on them and stuff. And Sandbox Marketplace has also done really, really well so far. And if I'm not wrong, I'm not completely sure about what I'm going to say now, but you can have, like, because I'm primarily saying this because there's so many animal PFPs and animal NFTs going on around. So I'm pretty sure that Sandbox does support animal character support and stuff like that. But Sandbox, if I'm not wrong, your avatar or your person is going to be primarily just a human being. And I think you can sort of dress your avatar in whatever way you like. That's one thing. And in terms of its usability, the Sandbox is still to be even explored, how it works or how it operates. And
Because
both of them, yeah, because it's not live yet. And the other thing is, in terms of operations, both of them have integrated, like, I mean, Decentraland has fully integrated into Polygon just so they can operate freelance, and Sandbox has begun doing that, and they've not fully finished it. And well, that's also why they pushed up their delay. And there's actually two primary differences to people who are behind this, and why Sandbox still can grow massively, because the guys who are behind Sandbox are actually there's advisors from the Polygon team. There's people who build game developers and stuff. So, I mean, in terms of experience building stuff, Sandbox does have a lot more experience than people who are behind Decentraland. But yeah, Decentraland has a crazy good model as well. So it's hard to
right,
say which one will be successful or not. But well, it's right now the way it's looks like Decentraland is definitely paving the way with respect to decentralization, the perks based on its fundamentals and stuff, and also the fact that right now institutions and stuff, like for even Grayscale Trust, for example, they had 10 million Decentraland before mana tokens. Now they have 20 million. So they've just been gathering, and it looks like there's also a lot of institutional demand on how Decentraland works. So yeah, I mean, brief overview, that's sort of what I've explored. I'm still looking at a lot more things that I can find with
okay,
respect to Decentraland was the sandbox, and how, if a project is launching, which one would you want to build on it? Which one is it worth buying land and stuff and actually
right.
getting to work on it,
And
making a gallery or a game.
right. And then I posted the tweet above from Decentraland, and which is really crazy news that the government of Barbados is establishing the world's first metaverse embassy on Decentraland. Like, that's
That,
insane.
that's mind blowing. Seriously. I mean, you always
Absolutely, yeah.
oh, got the U.S. embassy or whatever right there at that country, but think that, oh, well, we need in Decentraland to have representation from our country. We need a physical representation inside a digital world,
Yeah,
and
isn't that crazy? Like,
mhm.
that's nuts. And not to cut you off, but it's just like, uh, how, like, what do they know that we don't? And a lot of pretty official buildings have been showing up on Decentraland. I was trying to break into this Hong Kong hospital in Decentraland. It was closed, and it says that you need a code to get in. And I was like, why would they have a hospital? So I was like looking inside the windows.
You are going to start an international war. Okay, because you're going to break into somebody's hospital that doesn't want you there, obviously, with their pin pad entry.
I
But
was trying to pick up a brick. Can I pick up this brick and put it in the hospital window?
So are gas fees your copay in a metaverse hospital?
I know, right?
I
That's
like that. It's talking about a metaverse. I was wondering this the other day because I saw somebody put a tweet out about it. Will there be realtors that just say, "Oh, I see you. So you're wanting you a nice place in Decentraland? I've got a
you're
couple places. I've got a couple clients.
you're so funny. Because that's so true. I was thinking about that. We're on the same wavelength, because I was driving yesterday and I was thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder if I could be a realtor in the metaverse.
Oh, please, I want you to have one because I always think of realtors having these like cheesy glamour shots, where they're like,
Yeah, the
Park
back-to-back
bench.
photo.
when you think of Christine, you think trust or something like that. Yeah, and then yeah, you've
So
got this real cheesy grin. I like it. Business cards, all of it.
The business cards would be NFTs.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on
See?
that level.
So actually, speaking of realtors, something else comes to mind. Like, I mean, right now, decentralized land and stuff like that is nowhere near to where actual land can be purchased. So because some of you guys brought up, NFTs going into the next phase, there's actually this project that's working out of Phuket in Thailand. They haven't launched yet in crypto, but what they've done is they've purchased a whole resort. And what they're planning is to fractionalize and tokenize the entire resort where hotels, rooms, floors, they can basically be lent out as NFTs. So ideally, like something like that is first. Again, this is going to be probably be the first one, which is tokenized land assets in NFTs and in crypto. But where I see this potentially headed is actual realtors with land and stuff in the actual world, right? They buy a piece of land in the metaverse as a decentralized sandbox. Think of it like that. And with the same branding, they pair the land in the metaverse with the building that they're going to sell you. You're actually going to get the contract in the NFT which you buy. So this is another direction that I see. And obviously, it's up to the creativity of any realtor or anyone who wants to sell something like that. But this is something that's actually very much possible. And yeah, obviously, having a fair stake in NFTs can also give you a potential use to help people pair it up. Actual realtors in the world, give real land assets with this. And, the applications are limitless. If you probably own a piece of a whole resort, you can basically get revenue of, say they rent out rooms and stuff like that. So it's actually a completely new um, area of stuff that we'll be diving into. But yeah, that's ideally what the use of NFTs is eventually going to be.
It's interesting to think that, like, Andrew Yang or whatever, he was always saying, like, AI is going to take over so many industries in the real world, and in the next, truck driving, a lot of these manual labor jobs, and like, so now we're all going to get jobs in the computer world to satisfy our time, while everyone in the real world is using computers to do our real jobs. That just kind of clicked in my head. It's just kind of like, what?
But there be real jobs in the metaverse, and I think
yeah, absolutely,
real careers in the metaverse. I mean, the easiest one I can think of for the TRADERVERSE metaverse, right, is could be like an educator. You could absolutely be an educator of crypto or anything else within a metaverse. And to me, that's an easy job where you're just like, I'm a teacher. I'm a college professor. I never leave my house because I speak to thousands of people online in a metaverse.
Language for sure. Like, if you want to learn a second language, like,
ooh,
like ESL, like that. You don't need to go to Thailand to teach English as a second language. Now you can just do it in metaverse.
Gosh, and it could be so much better too, because whenever I say the word dog, in another language, you could have a visual. It'd be really easy to teach it like that. So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I did an AMA with the CEO from Star Atlas, if you're familiar with that project. And he was talking about how you could run a gas station, and basically you could mine for gas within this virtual world. And then, it's a Star Wars spaceship type of battle. And you could, just run a gas station to fill up the spaceships as they're passing through before they go into battle. And that could be a complete career for somebody. So there will be jobs in the metaverse that are, we talked about a realtor, that are a lot akin to jobs in the regular world. So, it just depends on which industries can make that switch the quickest and easiest.
Real quick, yesterday we were talking about Tesla, right? And it was at, like, what was it at yesterday? 980.
It was right under 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it was at 980. It's 1,051 right now. Just want to say that.
Okay.
It was a good dip.
Probably our space that kind of moved.
Yeah, no, it had to be us. Had to be us.
Tesla still has like a fair portion of it in Bitcoin, right? So when Bitcoin dips, that is also likely to dip.
I saw something about SHIB is now in their code for potential payment for a Tesla. I don't know if it's true or not. All speculation, but that would be another huge thing that would unite a passionate community of altcoin holders. So,
that's also.
Go on, Josh. I'd rather hear from you.
No, I was just going to bring up something because you guys are all talking about jobs just a few seconds ago. And yeah, I mean, it's sort of deviating from what SmartRick was talking about. But the reason I was sort of saying this is I don't know if you guys are familiar with the FATF. It's the Financial Action Task Force. They look at money laundering, anti-money laundering, and international theft and terrorism finance and stuff like that. So they have actually been taking an incredibly close look at the metaverse, specifically Decentraland, because you mentioned jobs, right? Right now, there's already jobs that exist. Not exactly the kind of job you think of, but there's decentralized casinos, and you do make money there. So what they're actually asking people in the metaverse to do is KYC. If you're going to have jobs, if you're going to operate, if you're going to make money, if you're going to create an economy within the metaverse, they would want people to get KYC, which is actually pretty much impossible. And the regulation or whatever they're planning to do is supposed to come out in June 22. If that does come out, which it would mean for all decentralized metaverse systems, it would basically put a halt in long-term adoption, primarily because people wouldn't want to KYC and they would run the other way from the metaverse. And I have no idea what potential solution to something like this is, but yeah, this sort of reminded me because you were talking about jobs, and because I do see a lot of money being created in this space. Like at the moment, there's still loopholes to this. Like if you're operating in the metaverse, you might have to get KYC'd and stuff like that. But if you're contributing to build a portion of the metaverse, that just counts as a regular job in crypto, and that still doesn't come under their purview. So, well, this could be one of the actual biggest hindrances to the metaverse actually going for global adoption. So I have no idea how they're going to combat this, but yeah, just wanted to bring this up and say
Yeah, no, that's a
because the metaverse,
great it's a great point. We could do a whole spaces on that and whole docs versus undocs. Like
We should.
we will. Stay tuned. No, but in the last few minutes, like I've been talking with a few projects, and they're like one is trying to give away a Tesla Model Plaid as their giveaway, but in order to win that, you have to kind of like dox yourself. But there needs to be a solution out there where people can still like or have their identity be secure, and but be able to give that information. There needs some one side or the other. I don't think it'll ever be fully anonymous in order for it to be adopted. I think there needs to be some mediation between regulation and the government at bay, and then also people being okay with giving up their information. I mean, in order to use Robinhood, which a lot of people trade altcoins on Robinhood, you have to give your social security number in America. So, like you're already kind of giving that KYC information up, and I just think there needs to be something, a happy medium for people, because it will, once if we want it to progress the way we want it to, where people can actually make income, it's going to happen, especially in the States.
Yeah, it's going to have to happen if you're following the rules. For those that don't,
True.
They may not care to. And I mean, I can tell you, I'm undoxed. I go by voice of DeFi. I'm undoxed, but there's a few contests and stuff that I'm like, oh, I want to win that NFT. I want to do this, but I don't even enter because I don't want to KYC myself. I've been a part of some whitelist groups where I really want to get into that project, but I've decided I don't want to do that because I don't want to KYC. Now, at some point that may change for me. I'm only speaking personally, but I'll bet you there's some people just like me that say they're never doing it. They're not doing it, and nothing's going to change their mind because some people are very serious about security. You got like preppers and people that really, really take their security seriously. And so for those people, I get it. And I think they don't want a happy medium. They want completely decentralized. It is called Decentraland, by the way. They want completely decentralized, and they don't want to turn it into anything that has anything to do with KYC or anything like that. It's very important to them. And I don't know who's going to win, but regulators versus those that want it unregulated, that's going to be a battle that goes by over the next few years.
Yeah, for sure. And when I say that, like, I think for like the realtor in the metaverse, and like for some of these people, for people who want to participate in like those kind of things, for sure there will always be the outliers. There's outliers in the physical world that don't pay their taxes and hide and prep, and are just non-existent, essentially to the government. And those people will always exist, and they will always exist, probably more so in the crypto world. But I think for mass adoption, I would say, and obviously this is my own opinion, that the mass of people, as long as it's done in a safe way, will comply in order for it to go to the next step.
And I think if here's the thing. I want to argue with you, but I also have to agree with you that to take the next step to be able to send the industry forward a little bit, I know that we're going to have a bit of, call it centralization or a bit of compromise as far as what internally, I don't want that. I don't want it, but I understand and I agree that to send it forward, we're probably going to have to give up a little bit there as far as maybe with our own info.
Yeah, no, and I'm on your side when it comes to like I don't want people to know if it's none of yours, but
nacho
nacho
business.
What you talking about? Taco about? Let's talk about it. Anyways, I agree with you on both ends too. Like, so we could both argue on both sides of the fence, and it would be a really confusing argument. But yeah, I think there needs to be structure for something to really progress, especially when it comes to adoption by regulators. And it's the sad truth of things. People want their money, and people want things done properly, and there are some security or safety measures that Big Brother can give us. unfortunately. Whether you think they do or not, that's a conversation for a completely different space.
Well, I'd said this the other day, that one of the biggest things for a need for centralization is onboarding to this space. We talk about Post Malone, or somebody that just may not have anybody, let's say not Post Malone, somebody that doesn't have somebody to handhold them through the process. And whenever there's that nice, sign in with Facebook button or sign in with Twitter button, it sure is easy just to tap that and not have to do a registration process. And next thing you know, you can have a chance to get into that initial barrier to then own you something, even on your own wallet that you will own. But that sign up process can be a little difficult right now with seed phrases and things like that. So I do think that there is some places for centralization, even within the NFT space, that might make the barrier to entry a little less than what it is right now. So I can see from an education standpoint or an onboarding standpoint that it could really be helpful. But I think once you start getting educated in the space, then you start saying, because I know I've done this where I've signed up for some things and months later I'll be like, oh no, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But maybe that's as you learn more, you start holding your privacy a little more dearly.
Absolutely. And I think also the main reason behind this need for centralization is not just, simplicity, that people want simplicity, but also potential, you know, use of money laundering or anti-terrorism funding and stuff, because you have no idea where people might be entering the space with. Like, there's another project that I actually recently got in touch with. It's called Scallop. They're actually the first bank on the blockchain. They're actually going to be entering the crypto space with an international banking license to allow anyone to open a bank after KYC. But the only difference is you can swap between fiat and everything else, like on your crypto wallet. And that's going to be pretty cool. It's going to help so much adoption, because you have so many countries which, well, it meets two needs specifically. One is ease of use between fiat and crypto. And the second thing that it does meet is all the countries that don't allow you to open a bank. You can now open a bank where you can use your fiat and you can use your crypto on that. So it's something that's really cool, and all of these projects that's launching right now, if they actually become successful in the model that they built, well, they would just launch adoption in a parabolic way.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what we want, is that adoption in a parabolic way. I like the way you put that. So we're getting here to the end of the hour here, but I want to give one more mention to TRADERVERSE. This is the account that I'm speaking with. Make sure you follow the account I'm speaking with so you can be in on these conversations, because we have them daily, Monday through Friday at this time, usually in spaces. But even if we move over to Discord, you'll want to follow the TRADERVERSE Twitter so that you can see announcements if we are moving over there to Discord. TRADERVERSE, of course, being a social network that'll have a collaborative network, can be an information aggregator where you can get all your financial news and trading data. We'll have charting and even gamified rewarding, where have an incentivized, active, and talented traders on there. So this will be a very unique social media experience that's designed by traders for traders. So I'm excited about this. So make sure you follow this account as well, so you can continue to hear us talk about great topics like today over NFTs. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, anybody else that spoke up here today. I really appreciate your knowledge that you've shared. And for anybody else that didn't share but would like to hear us talk about a certain topic, please don't hesitate. Just give me a DM. Give Smart Rick a DM about, hey, I really wish y'all would cover this topic, or have this person on for an AMA. We're interested in that because we want to know what you, the TRADERVERSE community, would be interested in us covering. So I really appreciate all of your time. So, all right, here we go, guys. So we've hit the end of the hour. We will be here tomorrow at this same time. Everybody knows by now maybe what our topic is tomorrow. It's going to be We All Gonna Make It Wednesday, right? We're all going to make it Wednesday. It's going to be WOGME Wednesday, and I can't wait to talk about that, because we always have, it's real lighthearted on that day, and we never know what the market's going to be, but we're all going to be in Solidity. We're not Solidity. We're all going to see. I've got my mind on Ethereum coding. We're all going to be together, saying that we're all going to make it. So join us tomorrow at this same time. We are all going to make it. Thanks to Christine for helping to host. Thanks for Smart Rick for helping to co-host as well. Until then, I will see you guys tomorrow on the other side.
Bye, guys.